I know that you want to get monetized, and I'm going to show you my analytics of my monetized YouTube channel. And I also know that you have many questions for me, so I'm also going to answer your questions. Now, to get monetized on YouTube for long form content, you need to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours within a 1-year time frame. And the thing about YouTube, we often procrastinate getting started. We often fear the whole impact of being seen by other people. We get so nervous about it. And even right now, as I'm chatting, even though I've created hundreds of videos, I'm always just a bit nervous when I'm talking on camera. So if you haven't started a YouTube channel yet, go ahead and get started. And it is exciting when you get monetized. It is exciting to see that money come in, because we are living in an age where through content creation, right here, as a YouTuber, you can make money. And some people don't know that you can make money on YouTube. And I'm not saying that you'll be a millionaire overnight here on YouTube. But, in this day and age, we need to have different forms of income, different streams of income. And if there's something that you're really, really passionate about, that you enjoy talking about, then go ahead and create a YouTube channel about it. That's if that's what you really, really want. So how does AdSense actually work? So advertisers pay YouTube to actually have ads on YouTube. And we get a percentage of that money, right? So advertisers will pay YouTube, and then when our videos show, and if our videos are monetized, if our channel is monetized, we get a small bit of that money, right? And YouTube, in terms of how much they pay, it is actually better than, say, TikTok, for example. I'm talking about per 1,000 views. But with YouTube, it does take a long time to actually start gaining your subscribers, gaining the watch hours, etc. So I know that you will see that many YouTube channels, they do get monetized within 30 days, etc. But for the far majority of YouTube channels, it takes years sometimes to even get monetized. So I think having realistic expectations can help you in your YouTube journey. And maybe that's not what you want to hear. Maybe you want to hear that, hey, it's like super fast, you start today and within a month you'll get monetized. Maybe you want to hear that. But I want to tell you that if you feel that way, and if it doesn't happen, then you'll feel very, very sad about your YouTube journey, because you'll feel like that it should have happened faster, when the reality is you can be on YouTube for years before you get monetized. YouTube is a long game. It is a long game. It is a marathon and not a sprint, and you will hear that often, but it is true, because when you start as a YouTuber, you're experimenting with your channel. You're trying to learn what works, what value can you actually provide to your audience? How are you going to help them? Maybe you want to have an entertainment channel. Maybe you want to have an educational channel. When your viewer watches your content, they need to feel like, you provided value. They learned something from you, whether it's through entertainment or education, etc. And when you are talking on the camera like I am right now, I'm using my phone. I've always used my phone. Think that you're speaking to one person, just one, because this helps you to decrease the amount of pressure you have when you think, oh my gosh, who's going to be watching me? How are they going to view me? Am I going to be judged, perceived? All these things, right? And you can have those negative thoughts churning in your mind. But when you think, I'm just having a relaxed chat with a friend and let's just see how it goes, you decrease that amount of pressure. Because content creation, it may seem so simple. It may seem, easy peasy, right? It may seem like, you're just publishing these videos. What is so difficult about it? But my word, there are aspects of YouTube which are very, very difficult, because mentally it can take its toll on you. When you're creating so much content and you often see very few views, you don't get subscribers, all coming to your channel and subscribing, you get subscribers, but it's so gradual. It can take its toll on you mentally. And I want you to know that, because sometimes we getting to things, not understanding the enormity of it in terms of mental health and being a YouTuber. People don't think that YouTube is a real job. It absolutely is. And I say that as somebody who has had a career prior to this, prior to being a YouTuber, and I took my career seriously. But YouTube is a real job. You put in the hours, you put in the effort, you put in, blood, sweat, and tears, right? You put all of that into it, but you put yourself, and I mean, you share about your life, you share about how you're feeling, and that is why I also say safeguard yourself. Like, know how much you want to share. You don't have to share everything about yourself here on YouTube. If you're not comfortable in sharing so much, don't. Because with YouTube, the you in YouTube is so powerful. It's you connecting with other people from all over the world. So I'm going to go into the pros of YouTube, why it is so interesting to be a YouTuber. Well, the thing is, in this day and age, right, you have easy access to actually connect with people from all over the world. And you can do it without paying anyone, right? Because prior to YouTube, if you think about media, you'd have to take an ad in the newspaper, you'd have to have a radio ad, etc., to communicate with other people. It was much harder. Now you publish a video and you don't know who will watch or how many people will watch. The possibilities are endless, and you don't know what that's going to lead to, right? For example, just say that you have a web design company, you design websites, and then you start putting your content on YouTube, right? And then people start contacting you to help them create websites. So you may not even be a monetized channel, but you are gaining money by getting clients through YouTube. So it is really, really fascinating. And sometimes it can be a lot of information to wrap your head around. But the thing is, even when it comes to learning about YouTube, you don't have to learn all of it in one day, in 1 month, even in 1 year. The learning doesn't end. And that's what makes it so interesting, because it helps you keep your mind so alert. It helps you go through this digital space and try to understand it. And you become more confident when you learn more about YouTube. You become more confident about the content that you are creating when you look at your analytics on YouTube. Now, you may have these questions and you may say, Kish, by the way, my name is Kish. My small YouTube channel here is all about being a small YouTuber, the highs and lows. So if that does interest you, to subscribe. You may say, but I don't have, a camera to get started. I don't have a fancy setup, etc. to get started. You don't need either of those things. Start with what you have. Do you have a phone? Use your phone to record yourself. Some people are even filming in their cars. The other day I did a video in my car. So, don't be so scared of not having the best kind of studio, etc. Sometimes we use those reasons as excuses to actually not get started. You may say, well, Kish, I don't know how to talk on camera. Guess what? The way I'm talking right now isn't how I started on YouTube. Through practice, I became better, and I'm far from perfect. In fact, every time I sit down to do a video, etc., I am learning how to become better at talking on camera. It is a process. It is not an overnight thing where you magically become, by the way, I love clicking my fingers, become so fantastic at speaking on camera. So be kind to yourself. Don't expect to perfect everything so quickly. Aim for progression rather than perfection, because at the end of the day, we are human beings, right? We are not perfect human beings. Part of being human means that we have to learn things. Sometimes we try things, sometimes it doesn't go according to plan, but we keep moving forward. So like I said, I am going to show you my analytics on my monetized channel. But a lot of people think that you can only earn money through YouTube via AdSense, but that's not true. You can also earn money via YouTube through brand deals, etc. So maybe a popular brand will reach out to you and say, okay, we'll pay you this much money if you talk about our brand, or, or service, etc. And there's also affiliate links, like if I had to put down the link for this, right, an Amazon link where you could purchase this mic, and then you purchase the mic and I get a percentage of that sale. So there's affiliate links as well. People also make courses, right, and they sell the courses, or they do consulting, etc. So there are many ways to actually make money via YouTube. In fact, AdSense, you will see when I show you the analytics that with AdSense, sometimes the small YouTubers, you hardly make anything with AdSense. And AdSense, it just goes up and down, up and down. It's not very reliable because it changes all the time, even month to month. And if you have a certain RPM, revenue per milli, per 1,000 views on a video, right? It doesn't mean to say, and it just say it was a decent amount, doesn't mean to say that your next video is going to have the same RPM or CPM, etc. And these technical terms, you'll also see it when I show you my analytics. You may also ask, well, what if nobody watches my videos? When you're first starting on YouTube, you can feel like nobody's watching your videos because you have very few views, etc. But over time, you'll start to see that as your content gets better, you will get more views. But even like there'll be moments when you want to quit YouTube. I even made a video about that because it takes a lot of effort, and sometimes we think, is something wrong with me? Is something so fundamentally wrong with me? But the thing is, it's a steep learning curve with YouTube. You are learning about titles, about thumbnails, about editing, about how to speak on camera. So understand that YouTube is a long process, right? And eventually people will start to watch your content as long as you provide value, as long as you are slightly improving with every video. And I've learned about something called intentional consistency, where you look at your videos and you think, okay, yes, I'm being consistent, I'm publishing videos often, but how can you actually improve the videos that you are creating? How can you make your videos better for your viewer? I'm now going to show you my analytics. So on this YouTube channel, I made a whopping $47.75. And, to many people, that isn't a lot of money. But to me, I think it's fantastic because, just seeing that you are able to earn money online is amazing. And it took me over a year to actually monetize this YouTube channel. And I have just over 2,000 subscribers on this channel. And you can see that, the numbers really do fluctuate. Like some days $2.69, and then some days like 34 cents, etc. And that's because sometimes I wasn't that consistent on this particular YouTube channel. And it also depends, like when you see people are earning a lot of money with their YouTube channels, it depends, like if you are in a finance niche, etc., that earns more than, say, if you were in a cooking channel, had a cooking channel. It also depends where your audience is watching from. So if your audience is from like places like the UK, US, they tend to have, more AdSense, money from AdSense than if people are watching from India and Africa, etc. So there are various factors that contribute to how much you're earning or how little you're earning. It also depends on whether adults are watching your content or whether children are watching your content. And also it depends on the age of your audience, because people who are older, advertisers see them as being more likely to make purchases, etc. So the AdSense can be higher if you have an older audience. So yeah, $47.75 in total. And I have been monetized on this channel for just almost a year now, okay? And then the money from watch page ads, that's like ads that I place on long form videos, $17.20. Money from shorts, ads that I place on shorts is $30.55. And supers and gifts, nothing. Okay, and I also want to show you like month on month how it looks. So in October, I made $27.80, and I was very consistent in that month. and then September $6.51, and then as low as 51 cents in May this year, and this month 43 cents. So you can see that these numbers really do change, right, depending on so many factors. And CPM, how much advertisers pay every 1,000 times your watch page content is viewed with ads. And you can see the CPMs are different. In October, the CPM was $11.08, but in January, it was $8.54. So it really does differ. And in April, it was $13.84. So it changes so much. And the thing with monetization, right, I think sometimes we have this idea that once you monetize, it's like everything is then wonderful. I mean, I get it. Having money from YouTube is fantastic. But I also think, and I'm also learning, that you do have to diversify the way that you earn money via YouTube. Because if you try to make this a full-time thing, then depending solely on AdSense can be dangerous. You know, you have to think of products or services or using affiliate links, etc., to actually make it sustainable for you. Because it makes sense, you know, if you're putting in so much effort, you want to be able to also earn the money to sustain your effort. Otherwise, you will also feel burnt out, and you may also think, okay, maybe I should just go back to a full-time job. But if you only see this as a hobby, then that's fine. Because if you see it as a hobby and you still have your full-time income, then that's fine. If you're just doing it solely for fun and you don't see it as a way to make money, that's also completely fine. And that's the thing about YouTube. You know, you have so many different types of YouTubers. You have some people who see this as a business, some people who see it as a hobby, or maybe you see it as a hobby but you also want to make some money, and that's also fine. So, you know, your YouTube journey is yours alone. So I know there are many people who earn thousands of dollars, you know, through AdSense, and that's fantastic. And I also know that there are many YouTubers who earn less than this. And, you know, that is why I say with YouTube, I find it fascinating when I have watched other people show their monetization and show how much they're earning, etc. Because it's just really interesting. I mean, I am a 42-year-old YouTuber. I didn't grow up with YouTube. I didn't grow up in a time where you could actually make money from social media, because social media didn't even exist. So don't take this for granted. Don't take this opportunity for granted, that your messages can be shared so easily, that you can reach so many people. Don't take all of that for granted. You know, that is amazing that we have this potential to be seen, to be heard, to make money. You know, it is amazing. And if you like this kind of content, please do subscribe, comment below, let me know where you're watching from. And if you haven't started YouTube yet and you don't even know where to start, I created a checklist. Just comment below with the word list, and I'll send you the checklist so that you know exactly what to do before you even start, you know, sitting down and creating your video. And have a beautiful week.